Why do we need to be alone? So, Mark Walsh here, live from Israel today, sitting on my own, spending some time alone, away from colleagues, partners, whatever, in a beautiful, relaxed part of Tel Aviv, hard to find actually. And I've been thinking, why do we need to be alone? Even someone who's pretty extrovert like me, I love to be around interesting people with things to say, beautiful women, I love to be around vibrancy life. We still need this alone time. And that's a given, right? But actually it's an inquiry video, so it might be a bit rambling. I'm thinking, why is it hard work to be around? We're social animals. If you imagine our sort of cave man, woman, undecided in a cave, we're all around people a lot, I imagine. So why do we need to be alone now? Maybe we're crammed together in modern cities, maybe it's a bit much, but what's a bit much? What does that mean? For me, no matter how authentic I am, there's a part of me which isn't always being expressed here, and that part of me gets a little hidden. Now that part I think gets smaller as you get more and more open, honest, brave, courageous, vulnerable. That part gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but it still exists. So that ability to be alone, I think that need to be alone is partly to do with that. And I think if it can correlate. If you're not able to express yourself authentically, then you need to be alone. For example, I've seen that in a gay community in Russia, for example, some time alone. Yeah. Now, why else? I mean, it's hard work socially, isn't it? I mean, most of our fight, flight as human beings either comes from our imagination, imagining bad things happening, or from the social environment, the fear of being judged. Something nice about having food on my top and eating what food I want and thinking, oh, no one's going to judge me for looking like a slob or eating ketchup with chips or whatever. So even if we're very self-confident, we're not too reliant upon others for our self-esteem. I'd consider myself in that camp. There's still a way in which other people are socially threatening at all times, even though we love to connect with them because of social judgment, social anxiety, which exists even for the most confident person. So I think that's another. Next, I'd say, is to do with your level of development. So there's no non-snobby way to speak about this, I don't think, but essentially, if you're at a different level of development from the people around you, a psychological level of development, look up spiral dynamics, Ken Wilber, any of that good stuff, it's going to be hard work to be around other people. Particularly people who aren't at that level of development. Essentially they're bringing you down the whole time. So I know this is going to be a bit controversial because it can sound very snobby, but that's one. I mean, of course you can hang around with your tribe, you can hang around like one-to-one. I know, for example, if I'm hanging around with Daria or people I'm very close to, it's not draining in the same way, particularly if I'm very authentic with them, I don't feel judged by them for those reasons. Why else do we need to be alone? Maybe not talking. Part of it's just being silent, isn't it? I remember when I've been on silent retreats, partly it's just that not talking helps to turn this down a little bit. That can be beautiful, but even on silent retreats, it's quite different from being on a solitary retreat. When I've done solitary retreats before, it's quite interesting. You have a kind of couple of days of going, oh, thank God I'm on my own. No one's judging me. I can do what I want. I don't have to socially present. That's hard work. We're socially presenting the whole time, whether it's the Facebook, the Instagram, or just how people, in the past, just in the street, how I stand, but also after a couple of days it gets really hard, because we're so reliant upon other people to do things for us. And I think, one reason we need to be alone is we can overdo some of those social patterns if we have an addiction towards, say, I don't know, seeking affection or upsetting people is one of mine, triggering people, or a negative stroke. Any of those sort of social stroke things, we can actually take that behaviour too far, and that can become in itself unpleasant for us because we're sort of stuck in a loop. So there can actually be some more freedom to being alone. That's another thought I was having. Also, just people talk a lot of shit, don't they? People talk a lot of shit.